What's good, you guys? So before I get into this video, I want to say thank you to all my subscribers and for all of you who reach out in the comment section. Shout out to all of you guys who support me and who leave me comments, who interact with me in the comments. And I love you all. Thank y'all for being here. So in this video, I want to talk about how the narcissist lies about their childhood traumas. That's right. They lie. They lie about their childhood traumas. They tell you things that are not true. They trauma bond you through childhood traumas that are false. And a lot of times, they're telling you their past supplies stories. They are telling you something that happened to somebody else. And they're pretending that it was them. And they have moments of clarity where you can find out the actual truth. It doesn't last long, but they have moments of clarity where they will actually tell you the truth. I actually experienced this. I'm not saying all narcissists do this, but I am saying if you pay attention, you will find out that their childhood traumas are lies. I am a strong believer, and I don't believe that they are this way because of their childhood. I'm not saying nothing happened to them in their childhood, but there are so many successful people who have had, good people who are empathetic, who have had traumas in childhood way worse than a narcissist. And some of these narcissists actually had good childhoods, great families, and they're still narcissists. So I am not going to go with the, they had the worst childhood traumas and this happened to them and they weren't given the right amount of love. And don't fall for it, guys. We hear their sob stories in the beginning. I was one of them. They've been through so much, the abuse, the sexual abuse, and this happened and that happened, etc. And you're like, oh my God, I know at least I was. And rest assured, a lot of these traumas that they have, that they say that they've been through, are lies. That's right. They talk to you, and if you just listen to them talk, they want to find out everything about you, right? And they did the same thing with the past supplies that they had. They want to find out everything about this person, everything they can actually find out. And a lot of these stories come from other people that they've been involved with, and they take these stories on as their own. Anything to gain your empathy, anything to get supply from you. A lot of these stories that they tell are absolute lies. You have to be very careful when they're talking and bonding with them through trauma. These things are not true. These things are not true. They really are not true. They haven't been through half the things they talk about. They will go as far as watching a TV show or picking up something from a movie or a TV show and pretending that it's them, using these stories as if it's them. They do this. They lie about everything. Nothing they speak about is true. So why should we believe that traumas are true? We have to really sit down and think about that. If all they do is lie, why do we believe the childhood stories? Why do we believe these things? Because we're empathetic and we're good people. And we can put ourselves in somebody else's shoes. And we think the things that they've been through is just horrible when we hear their stories. But let's not forget, they lie about everything. If their mouth is moving, they're lying to you. So why should we believe their childhood traumas? Why should we believe the things that they say? The narcissist told me a story. Just thinking back. It was so horrific, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I was like, I can't believe that. You actually went through that? And one night this individual was drinking. and had too many drinks and actually told the truth. But I'm somebody, if you tell me a story and I'm listening and there's holes in your story, you have to make it make sense to me. So I never left the narcissist alone about it. I was like, well, if that happened to you, how? Who allowed this? Why didn't you do something? Why didn't you tell somebody? I just couldn't believe it. And they were so angry that I wouldn't leave it alone. They were so angry that I kept meddling in their story. They were so angry that I kept bringing it up. And at this time, I don't know anything about narcissism. I want to know, where was the adult when this was happening? How did you go through such a thing? Only to find out that they were drinking one night. It was never real. It was never the truth. They never went through any of what they told me. It was all lies. They got so angry, they told me, you were right. You were right. It was a lie. It was a lie. It wasn't true. It wasn't true. Moments of clarity. Only the next day to say that they never said that. They didn't even remember it. But it was a quick moment of clarity where they were so angry that I was able to decipher, this is a lying story. This doesn't make sense. You don't make sense, and this doesn't make sense. They actually went into rage. They were so angry. But at this time, I don't know anything about rage. I'm figuring you're just getting mad because, hey, you've been caught in a lie. I don't know you're disordered and you're all, this is just evil tactics that you use to draw people in. I'm not knowing that. The story sounded so sincere. It was so serious to me. But it just had so many cracks in this story. And I'm just a person. If you tell me something, it has to make sense. Because anything that doesn't make sense is a lie. That's for anybody, toxic people, narcissists, and anyone outside of that. If you tell me something and it doesn't make sense, you're lying. And I will call you out on it if you're lying. And that's exactly what I did. And they were livid because I knew it was a lie. Y'all, you have to be very careful when the narcissist is telling you stories because these things, most of the time, have no truth to it. A lot of the times, it's lies. And if you listen, you'll find that these things that they say don't make sense. And they're liars. Compulsive liars, pathological liars. If their lips are moving, they're lying to you. It doesn't matter what it's about. And they have half-truths that they tell. Remember, half-truths is still whole lies. You have to remember that. They do not fully tell the truth about anything. And these childhood traumas that are so traumatic, that are just beyond me, they're not true. And I know I'm not the only person that ran into a narcissist that or more than one narcissist that had a childhood story that was an absolute lie. Listen, supply is supply. They'll say whatever they have to say to get it. And if they have to make up a story to suck you in, that's exactly what they're going to do. And they tell all the supplies different stories or somewhat the same. They'll take a past supply story and tell it to you. It is unbelievable how we fall for this, being empathetic people, having sympathy for these people, placing ourselves in their shoes. And they're sitting there and they're grinning and they're laughing. And they think this is funny. It's a joke to them. It's a game. You've been sucked into a game and you are on a roller coaster. And they know that you don't know anything. You have no way of figuring it out. You can't find out on your own. That's why you have to use discernment. You have to use spiritual discernment dealing with the narcissist because everything is in the spirit. Everything. They do the evilest things and everything they say is a lie. And even with the small amounts of truths that they tell, it's usually circled around a lie. And most of the time, it is somebody else's story. You never know. A movie, a TV show, something that happened to somebody else. A lot of these stories are lies. And I get so tired of these videos with, the narcissist was, they were, when they were a child, they didn't get what they needed. They didn't get the love that they needed. Oh, the parent this and the parent that. Listen, A pile of crap, okay? No. I literally experienced this with more than one narcissist who tells a story that has nothing to do with them. Nothing at all. And sometimes it's not even their story. And if some things did happen to them, you can rest assured they've added on, subtracted, and everything else to make this their story. They're liars. They are liars. And we believe this stuff. We believe this stuff. And this is what they look for. And they're sitting there and they're laughing and they think it's a joke. And it's just, they do this time and time again with people over and over again. And they tell these stories. We have to do better when it comes to dealing with these people. These liars, these people who don't know how to decipher a lie from the truth. And they're flying monkeys, even them, after so long, they get tired of being sucked around by the narcissist. They start to figure things out. They're there for a while, and some may even be there forever. Who knows? Some may even be there forever, but you can rest assured even they get tired because the narcissist starts to do them the same thing. The narcissist treats them just as bad, especially when something goes wrong. They shift the abuse to the flying monkeys. Y'all, as I always say, you cannot make this stuff up. Make it make sense. If you're dealing with a narcissist and they have a trauma story, I can almost guarantee you it is a lie. It is a lie. It is really hard to believe anything that they say. It is really hard. You just can't fall for it. You can't. We have to know which people we're supposed to have empathy for. We have to stop giving our empathy away to these types of people, to these parasites, to these vampires. We have to stop doing it. We have to stop giving them all this empathy and caring about what's going on and trying to fix it. And oh my God, I can't believe this and can't believe that, because they're laughing at us. They are literally laughing at us. They are making a mockery out of us. It is a game. It is a joke. It's all for supply. Remember, everything a narcissist does is all about supply. Nothing is ever genuine. And the most diabolical thing you can do is come up with childhood trauma stories that are not even true. That are not even true. But you guys, I just wanted to come to you with a quick video and let y'all know that we have to pay more attention to these narcissists with these stories, getting trauma bonded over a lie. It's the false advertising for me. We got to stop doing that. We have to be more aware, use spiritual discernment, allow God into the equation and let him decide for us, because people like this are everywhere. And these people are liars. These things are not true. Far from the truth. I know I was sucked in and I was like, wow, this happened? But if you continue to listen as time progresses, especially if you're a main source in their life, you get to hear and see a lot. And you can learn more by paying attention and just listening. Y'all, they're liars. And we have to do better when it comes to this, because a lot of people are getting sucked in with these stories that are not true. It may have happened to somebody, but it didn't happen to the narcissist. I can promise you that. And when you're the main supply, you sit around and you listen and you hear things and you pay attention, and it all pans itself out. You will find out, just like they talked about the last supply before you. Oh, they did this to me, and they did that to me, and this to me, and that to me. But guess what? In the devalue stage, what happens? Oh, all of a sudden, this person is so much better than you. They loved them. They cared about them. Oh, it wasn't that bad. They never treated me like you did. They didn't do this and they didn't do that. If that was all lies, how could the childhood trauma stories be the truth? Y'all, it's unbelievable. And if we take the time out and we pay attention and we use spiritual discernment, you can guarantee you'll find every hole in every story that they tell. And you will know, because when you call it out, like, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't make sense. No, no, I don't think so. Then that's when you get the rage. This is when you get the, the yelling and the screaming over you, and the gaslighting. This is when they start blame shifting. This is when they start the deflection. This is when all the projection starts up. This is when they kick off the defense mechanisms. They want to shut you up. Guess what? You just figured them out. Yeah. And depending on where they are on the spectrum decides what they're going to do next. They get very angry. Because it's all lies. It's all lies. It is all lies, guys. We have to stop believing these narcissists. We have to become narc-proof, where they don't even want to be bothered with people that speak the truth. They hate the truth tellers. We have to not be scared and call them out. And all this about they're going to do this and they're going to do that and they're so scary and, oh, you have to pay attention. Yeah, you do have to do things in a safe way. Safety first. But they're cowards. They are cowards. And when you bring out the truth and you let them know, hey, look, that don't sound right. You're lying. When you start cracking that mask, they want to get away from you as far as possible. As far as possible. You are cracking the false self, and they are aggravated and agitated, and you become public enemy number one. You have to get away from them. You pay attention to everything. You know too much, and you are somebody they don't want around. Works for me. It's crazy. It is crazy. Those childhood trauma stories, y'all, they're lies. They are lies. They are lies. And we have to start recognizing this. We do. And calling it out and seeing it for what it is. But thanks you guys for listening. Just want to come to y'all with a quick video. It was on my heart to just talk about it and just, let y'all know that these stories, enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? That's bad. They make it bad for people who really go through this type of stuff. It's horrible. It's evil. It's evil to the core. It is. But thanks, guys, for listening. And take the time out to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you already haven't subscribed. And yeah, guys, until next time.